Critter Trades here, and today I'm going to go over some things that you might want to do to get prepared for winter driving. So the good news is most cars that are relatively new, like in the past 10 years or 15 years, they don't really need to have a whole lot done to them to make them ready for winter. They are built from the factory to be able to go down to negative 20, negative 30 degrees and still run just fine. Now, that being said, these are some things that you might want to do, especially if your battery is starting to get older and if you live in somewhere with pretty harsh winters. These are things that are good to check. All right, so this first one with windshield washer fluid, not so much make sure you're topped off, just make sure you do have a couple extra things of washer fluid because you do go through it a lot quicker in the winter. The roads seem to always be covered with slush and rain and melted snow, and it's always flying up off other vehicles onto your windshield. Something else to think about, and this is more so if this is your first winter with your car, make sure your vehicle actually has antifreeze in the radiator for your coolant, and also make sure that it has windshield washer fluid in the reservoir. When I originally purchased my car, it was from Florida, and they don't have freezing temps in Florida, and so the windshield washer reserve was just filled with soapy water, and my first winter up here it froze rock solid. I couldn't spray anything on my windshield. Fortunately, it didn't freeze enough where it broke anything, but make sure there actually is coolant and windshield washer fluid in your vehicle. So the next easy thing to do, especially if your car is like 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, is make sure you get one of these multimeters. These are super cheap to get. I'll throw a link in the description. If you don't have one of these, they're so useful for a variety of different applications. But if your battery is getting a little bit on the older side, you can test the voltage yourself to see if it's getting low and to see if you might be needing a new battery. So all you do is turn it from the off position to the direct voltage in 20, because this is how high you can go, and that's like the max number you can go for voltage. Then what you're going to do is you're going to use the red one to the positive, black to the negative terminals, and it will give you a readout of what your car is at. So mine here is at 12.9 volts. It was just running, so that's pretty standard. If it gets down below like 12.4 or closer to 12, then you're probably going to need a new battery, and I would probably get a new one before winter. That way you don't have to worry about getting stranded. And always make sure to turn it off. A lot of these don't turn off on their own, and you do need to switch them back to the off position. So most battery brands, they set them up where red is positive and black is negative. On some of the older European cars, they will set them up as brown is negative for ground, like brown being the color of dirt and black being negative. So make sure you look for the plus and the minus symbol on the battery itself. That's the easiest way that you don't mix them up. So this next one here is very dependent on where you live. I live in a place where it gets really cold. We get 100 to 150 plus inches of snow, and so snow tires where I live is extremely important. I want to make sure I have the best grip possible, especially in rough conditions. There's also a lot of steep hills and declines, and it's just why wouldn't you want the extra assurance that you can stop better? So again, snow tires are super awesome. I highly recommend them if you get lots of snow in your area. If you live in a more mild climate with pretty flat terrain, probably don't need them. Just again, this really depends on where you live. These little strips in the tire, these are called sipes, and what they do is they help to grab, especially on ice. They make a really big difference on ice. And a lot of the times you can't tell it's icy until it's too late and you're sliding. So it's a lot better to have them and not need them than to need them and not have them, because you'll be in the ditch way before that happens. All right, this last one is a product called Fluid Film, and what this is this is a rust proofer. You spray it on basically the underside of your vehicle, around the wheel arches, the places where rust usually occurs the quickest. And what it does is it's a waxy substance that creates a barrier so that the salt from the road doesn't actually get to touch the metal parts of your vehicle so that rust can set in. And this product is called Fluid Film. It's really amazing. I'll have another link in the description for this one as well. And the best part about this product is it creeps, and as you can see here, this is fluid film that has crept out from the underside of the door where I sprayed it. And what's awesome about that is if you get like a rock that bounces up and knocks some of it off, the other fluid film that's around it will cover that area and protect your vehicle. And this is a really awesome product. I'm gonna link a video at the end. I've done this for 7 winters, and my car has barely any rust on it at all. It's amazing. If you look at like a 2-3-year-old vehicle in the salt belt, how much rust these cars get. Mine looks really, really awesome. So highly recommend Fluid Film. This product itself is better when applied before your car sees salt. So right after you buy it brand new, if it's a car from down south, I really recommend it, especially if you plan to keep your car a long time. If you're leasing a vehicle or if you're not going to keep it more than a couple of years, it's probably not worth it. But if you want your car to last a long time and not show rust up on the wheel wells, really super awesome product. It's also never a bad idea to throw some extra water and maybe a blanket or two in the back just in case you need it. You don't want to get stranded somewhere, not have water to drink, not have food to eat, those sorts of things. A few snacks in the back. Normal car maintenance that you would do anyways in the summer, you need to make sure that you're up to date on your maintenance, because there's a lot of simple things that you should be doing anyways that make your car more reliable. Making sure the air in the tires is up to the right pressure, making sure your oil is full, and those sorts of things. Just real simple things to make sure that your car isn't going to blow up a motor, that you're not going to lose air and need to change a flat on the side of the road. So again, make sure you're doing those normal car things that you should be doing anytime you drive. If there's anything else you think that I forgot to mention, post it down in the comments so we can help other people out.